Hello, Brobs. We're back with new book arrivals, number 220. These were from a thrift store, and they were 50 cents a piece. These two books I got solely for their Mylar jackets that are included. And you might ask why I would buy a book just for a Mylar jacket when you can readily buy them on Amazon or wherever, but F Amazon. F them all. Is this ephemera in here? I'm going to believe this is somebody's purchase paper, so I won't include their name. Guy from Grosse Point. Rich guy. So that would make sense why he's sailing. Never know. Maybe the book's worth something. Let me see how much he paid for it. He only paid $14.95 for it. So, hey, if I can get $14.95 for that book, I will gladly take it. But as it stands, I'm bought these solely for the dust jackets or the Mylar jackets, as it were. Whoa. Calm down back there. All right, this book. Nations of the World, France. While it's an old book, it's part of a set, and it's not in great shape, and it's encyclopedic, so it's obviously probably not very desirable. As you can see, it's falling apart there. I did not see that before, but maybe a few good illustrations in there, but the main, what year was this? MDCCC XCV, I'm going to say 19, maybe that's 1880, I don't know, maybe 1898, I don't know. Whatever frickin' year it is. The main reason why I got it is for this library, Ex Libris bookplate, Library of R.G. Edmonds. Not sure who he is, and he may be a nobody, or he may be a somebody, but I genuinely like those sort of things. As you can see, this book is really coming apart. John F. Brisby. So yeah, that's the main reason I got that, for that little book plate. I will have to look into that gentleman's name. Here's an interesting book, Empty Mansions, The Mysterious Life of Huguette Clark, and the Spending of a Great American Fortune. We just look at her. Very elegant. I like that chair. Was shy but not sad. Her friends and the few relatives who knew her described her as cheerful, gracious, stubborn, devoted to her art, and generous to friends and strangers. Despite her, that's a pretty good painting. Not amazing, but oh, she bought it. I thought it was hers that she drew. Anyway, she, I think, despite her riches and her mansions in 3 states, she stayed in a hospital room for some reason. Though she owned palatial homes in California, New York, and Connecticut, why had she lived for 20 years in a simple hospital room despite being in excellent health? Nobody knows why. I like how the pictures are, I guess you'd call them sepia. Look at that. Painted this portrait of her painting a new nude male model. I definitely want to read this book. This is brilliant. Wouldn't it be nice to know an artist? She's cute. She was a cute one. Look at that fucking house. Oh my God. That's her home. Childhood home. $180 million in today's dollars. But after her father died in 1925, it was deemed too expensive for anyone to maintain and was torn down. What? That's a fucking amazing house. Unbelievable. Interesting. Very interesting book. Henry Knox, Visionary General of the American Revolution by Mark Pauls. Obviously, you'd have to know about the American Revolution to care about this. And I do care about it. Richard Webster's Spirit and Dream Animals. Decipher their messages. Discover your totem. Bee. That's funny. And I went right to the bee. An old legend says that Jupiter, the supreme god of Roman mythology, was nourished by bees. However, bees are universally considered a symbol of industriousness, thrift, and dedication. They also symbolize activity, productivity, social organization, teamwork, and cleanliness. To dream of bees is a sign that teamwork or cooperative effort is required. If you do this, you will achieve much more than you would be capable of on your own. It's also a sign of multitasking. It's common to dream of bees when you're undertaking something momentous and important, such as examination, a wedding, or childbirth. Dreaming of a single bee is a sign that you have many good friends. There's a negative side to dreaming about bees. They can indicate an enormous amount of mindless internal chatter that makes it hard for you to focus and think clearly. Cray. Very crazy that I opened to that, since I have somewhat of an obsession with bees to some extent. Cassandra Clare, Shadow Hunters. I have several books of hers that I intended to sell, but I've never done it yet, so don't really care about these modern fiction rubbish. But a lot of people love this, and then they think they're a book bibliophile because they read rubbish like that. But I will sell it to them. Under the Black Flag: The Romance and Reality, and the reality of Life Among the Pirates. Oh, there's that ex-library. Ex Libris Thomas Streeft. Or does it say Shut? Could say Shut. Thomas P. Shut. I like that. That's a nice little Ex Libris. I actually have this book in paperback form. I'm assuming that this is probably the first edition. It is. 1995. Glad I got it. It's a nice book. I have quite a collection on pirates too. Not like 50 to 100 books, but probably I'd say in the 15 range. But it is also much more. It effortlessly expands its scope to become social, cultural, literary, and even cinematic history. James Madison, a biography by Ralph Ketchum. Catch 'em all. What's that kid's name in Pokemon? Something Ketchum, isn't it? It's not Ralph Ketchum. And obviously, it's spelled different. What's that kid's name? Kid's obsessed with Pokemon still, so should know that kid's name. What's his damn name? American Creation: Triumphs and Tragedies at the Founding of the Republic. And Joseph Ellis has obviously written several books on the Founding Fathers, including one on Washington, the Founding Brothers, the American Sphinx. Those are the only ones I really know. I don't know if he's still living, but he's written quite a few books on the founding of the Republic, which we are not a democracy whatsoever, which is why we have an electoral college and a lot of these things that came later, like the income tax and all that bullshit, are absolutely unconstitutional. Pete Waldmeyer, he was a Detroit News columnist. Wasn't a particular fan of him, but this is a signed copy. And I probably already have a signed copy, but since I don't keep track of my actually I do. This one has an ISBN. So maybe I do have it. But how can you go wrong with a signed copy of these books, which aren't worth much anyway, but they are local, and the newspaper. A lot of people, when they were kids, they read like little chapter books. I never read any of that bullshit. I read newspapers. That was my jam. And I still prefer to read newspapers, but you can't just go out to a store and buy newspapers. So obviously the digital form is not as impressive as the actual physical copy. War on the Base Paths, the definitive biography of Ty Cobb by Tim Hornbaker. Obviously, you see the old English D, which means Detroit, and that's why I have it considered to be one of the greatest baseball players, probably top 10, and I would agree he's top 10. He's fallen into some ill repute due to his racism and not very friendly character, but that's that. Legendary locals of Grosse Pointe. I need something to drink. See if I can get through this without drinking something. Obviously, more local history, which you probably don't care about, and I don't blame you, but I always get it because you never know which local figure will be in line to be researched. Push those aside. The Arthurian Legends, an illustrated anthology. King Arthur and that sort of thing never really interested me all that much, but I still collect the books. Did not realize this was ex-library book. I don't mean ex libris. Is this fucking tape or what? It's gonna tear this shit up. Please don't wreck it. Don't wreck it, bruv. Let it live. Come off through, you blasted tape. You blasted tape. I like when it just peels right off and then you can salvage both board and dust jacket. Usually this sort of tape does peel off. Does peel off, bruv. What's that residue? It's a residont, buddy. It's a residont. Oh no, I can tear it just ripping the fucking... You son of a bitch. You filthy fucking bastard. How dare you? How dare you? Well, if you would have done it like a civilized person, Bob, you would not have this problem. But you did not. You did not. You broke the code. Well, I got half of it off. Lesson learned. Is this just like encyclopedia? Yeah, basically. What the fuck is this? Fly wings? Fuck off there. So yeah, I marred that cover, that board forever, but I have learned a lesson. Not to fuck with it. Llewellyn's 1999 Magical Almanac. Book that's not worth very much, but it's got some... I've been collecting these for a while. Never really opened one of them to see what it says, but Sure, it's got some interesting. So yeah, see, it's got like little spells and stuff you can do. Cute. The Good Luck Book, an A to Z guide to charms and symbols. Let's see what the B is since I've... This book purchased from Gamblers General Store, Inc., Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's see what the B stands for since I've sort of adopted the B. Bachelor's Button. Basil. Bat. Bear. The B. If a bee flies through your window, that's a sign of good luck. It is also a sign that a stranger will come to your door. Oh, no. But if the bee dies in your house, that means bad luck. So watch out for that stranger. Well, that's not good news since I always have bees that get in. The old bees chugger. Cross your fingers, bruv. Sarah Maas, Queen of Shadows, a Throne of Glass novel, also known as a $5 bill. I'm going to sell it along with the other Sarah Maas book that I have, even though this one does have some moisture exposure to the back of it. See if I can make $5 out of this thing. If not, then I won't. I could sell it on Facebook or something. I don't really want to see people, but don't know if this book's worth anything, but I believe it's from 2024. Did not even look it up. Yes, from 2024. So I assume it's worth some money. See, look at this. Look at the epigram or epitaph. To every woman who's ever been told to smile more, fuck that, do what you want. Here's the thing. It's pretty bad when some guy tells you to smile. Especially when most people are too weak to not be sycophants and feign happiness when they don't mean it. So, but I mean, never flip somebody off when you're in the car, unless somebody puts up a sign that says "Flip me off for $500 million." Then do it. But otherwise, it's a low-brained impulse to flip somebody off, or to say "fuck off" to the person who says "smile." Smile more. Undaunted, surviving Jonestown, summoning courage and fighting back. Imagine her story is not very interesting outside of the Jonestown aspect. Assume that she was a child at the compound. I was dying. It was just a matter of time, lying behind a wheel of the airplane, bleeding out of the right side of my devastated body. I waited for the rapid shooting to stop, then said my act of contrition, praying by rote for forgiveness. I used what little energy I had left to finish that prayer before the lights went out, but the lights didn't go out, and I still began to take a second. I don't give a shit. This better have some stuff to do with Jonestown. Oh, she wasn't even... Oh, so she was there. She was shot by the Jonestown's people. Ruth Montgomery, A World Beyond. Obviously, Ruth Montgomery's was one of the... What's it say? Arthur Ford was a medium which Fletcher talked there through. What's it say? The book. Unobstructed? I don't know what the hell that says. She was a leading figure in the afterlife and all that sort of thing. Paranormal, sort of, so to speak. I think she did a lot of things like communicating with the dead and that sort of thing. Life After Life, whatever else you got to say. I think she also did some ESP prophecy sorts of things. But you don't often find a nice hardcover copy with the dust jacket of hers. Not that I think it's worth a lot, but should be worth a $10 range. And it would look nice with a dust jacket, mylar jacket. Je ne sais what? Guide to de rigueur, Franglish for readers, writers, and speakers. John Winokur, author of The Portable Curmudgeon, which I also have. Not a particular fan of French, but it's always nice to have some books on the French façons de, especially since I plan on reading some more Napoleon books. Maybe I can pull out this as a, obviously I could just Google it, but Google does not look good on a shelf. Richard Epstein, Skepticism and Freedom, A Defense of Classical Liberalism. J. Wink, April 1865, The Month That Saved America. That's all. That's all, bro. Goodbye.